Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday morning service here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship in Laguna Beach. And I want to welcome those who are here with us in the building and also those who have joined by Zoom. We are so glad that you've joined us for worship here at UUFLB. My name is Pamela Flodman, and I will be serving as the worship associate this morning. And I do want to acknowledge that really the service is possible because of the dedicated contributions and the hard work of all of those who come together to make things happen here at UUFLB, providing the audiovisual expertise, providing us beautiful music, arranging for speakers, caring for our building, providing coffee and refreshments, and really taking care of all of these details that are necessary to enable the work that we do here at UUFLB, both on Sunday mornings and in our community. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone. We gather together as a community of seekers to honor the interdependence of life, to respect the dignity of all, and to honor the land that we humbly walk upon. So this morning and always, let us acknowledge that we walk upon the traditional territories of the Ahashiman and Tongva peoples, the original nations of this land who continue to cry out for justice and self-determination. We are committed to respecting and enhancing the sovereignty of these indigenous peoples, and we recognize that we are blessed with a space and an opportunity to strive to live out our principles. And our principles are listed on the back of the order of service, which you can pick up as you enter the building. At the back of the building, there's a list of the Unitarian Universalist principles here. And they include to bring justice, equity, and compassion into our daily lives, to resist all that threatens the earth and her people, and to live out our dream of a world community of peace, liberty, and justice for all. So this morning, in this horrendous week of fires that threaten and do damage to the lives of those we care for and to the earth that we love, these words and these principles and the light that they bring seem to me to be especially important in our community here in Southern California and in our world. So let these thoughts carry us forth as we journey and worship together. And we are delighted today to welcome back to UUFLB Jennifer Springsteen as our guest minister today. As we begin this new year, with all of its challenges and yet also with all of its possibilities, today we are going to explore what is possible when we let go of what can often be unrealistic expectations that we hold of ourselves and of our bodies, so that we can truly reach the potential of what we can achieve as a community. And the gathering video this morning, which Jennifer Springsteen selected for us, I think is lovely and a reflection of this theme of the service. And I encourage you to go find it and watch it again, maybe on a closer screen. It's the Alvin Ailey dancers dancing in the streets of Paris and engaging with people, just the community, who happened to be on the sidewalks while they were dancing. And it's a lovely video. Each Sunday, anywhere there is a service held in a Unitarian Universalist congregation, a chalice is lit. And the flaming chalice is a symbol throughout the world of our UU faith. So for those of us who've joined us this morning by Zoom, I invite you to light a chalice within your home as I light the chalice here at UUFLB. We kindle this flame, honoring the doorways in our souls, the windows and video screens through which we gaze at one another, the balconies where we catch glimpses of the sky, the thresholds we stand on this morning, wondering, hoping, fearing, dreaming. And throughout the service this morning, if you are here with us in this building, I invite you, if you wish, to come forward and light a candle here in the sanctuary. We will have an opportunity later in the service for spoken joys and concerns, but if you wish to light a candle in silent recognition of whatever it is that you're carrying in your heart today as you join us for worship, again, please feel free at any point during the service to come forward and light a candle here. At UUFLB, we are a welcoming congregation. And what this means to us is that we are committed to working together to make a difference, to build community, to actively dismantle oppression and systemic racism in all of its forms. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your age, gender, ancestral, or ethnic background, whatever your life experience is, and really whatever it is that has brought you here this morning, we welcome you to our community of mutual caring and serious intent to grow together as spiritual and ethical beings and to live out our values in our world. And it is such a joy for us to have guests on Sunday mornings. So if there's anyone here this morning with us for the first or second time, we'd love to have the chance to get to know you. So if you are comfortable doing so, we invite you to share with us your name, where you are from, and what brings you to visit our church today. So I am going to start with the folks who are on Zoom. Do we have anyone joining today from Zoom who would like to share with us their name and where they're from? Okay, it looks like we don't have any guests on Zoom, so I'll turn to the sanctuary. Is there anyone here in the sanctuary who would like to stand and again just share with us your name, where you're from, and what brought you to come here to UUFLB today? That's great. Welcome, Mary. And that's Mary and JB, and Jim, who have recently in the last year and a half moved to Laguna Niguel and are looking to explore different religious communities in the area. So welcome, Mary and JB, and welcome, Jim. Is there anyone else who'd like to introduce themselves this morning? Great. Welcome back, Ruth. It's lovely to see you again, and welcome, Dan. Very good. Well, now we're going to take just a few moments to turn to our neighbors for a quick greeting and to offer personal welcome to old and also to new friends.
How's the weather over there, Rachel?
You know, I was so happy to get rain. So when we came, it was sunny, a little bit hazy because the winds were coming from the west. And but now it's just beautiful. It's been raining every night. So just like downpours. And
Blow some of that across the Pacific over to LA.
no kidding. Just horrendous. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable is right. Yeah,
Those are some of
terrifying.
my favorite parts of LA. Like if I had unlimited funds, my house would be burned down right now because I would be in
Right.
Pacific Palisades.
Oh my gosh. I know, such beautiful areas and so shocking that it went all the way to the shore. Yeah, just shocking.
Yeah, that whole curve and everything where the PCH got burned down, all of those are some of that, and down in Laguna, right as you come into Laguna, are my two favorite areas in all of Southern California.
Yeah, I agree.
Us here at UUFLB this morning, and we hope that you might have a few minutes to stay and enjoy coffee and refreshments and conversation after the service today. Dawn will now be bringing up a slide that announces some of the upcoming services here at UUFLB. And while he's doing that, I would also like to invite those who are visiting this morning, if you haven't done so already, please let us know if you'd like to be added to our email mailing list so that you can receive advance notice of upcoming services. And there is a sheet at the back of the sanctuary where you can leave your email address if you'd like to be added to that mailing list. In our upcoming services next Sunday, we have Jeffrey Breyer, one of our own here at UUFLB, who will be leading the service next Sunday. And Jeffrey, amongst other things, has had a long experience in leading a group of individuals who share a practice of laughter yoga. And we're looking forward to hearing from Jeffrey next week for the service. The following Sunday, Don West Jr., who is our board president here at UUFLB, will be here with us in person. Don is often joining us from his home in Henderson, Nevada, where he helps to coordinate the audiovisual tech, but he will be here in person on the 26th, and I know that will be a wonderful service. I believe Don's planning to follow up on the discussions that we had last summer in the book club, where we focused on a book by Reverend Danya Ruttenberg on repentance and repair. And that was valuable discussion last summer, and we're looking forward to Dawn's service at the end of this month. And then on the first Sunday of February, Reverend Celia Young, who is a frequent visitor and guest minister here at UUFLB, will be leading the service. So we're looking forward to all of those services. I also have a few announcements. First of all, just a reminder that every week at UUFLB on Mondays at noon, there is a Zoom at noon discussion group, which is hosted by Paul Bogdan, and anyone is welcome to join that discussion group. And you can talk with Paul or others here today if you wanted to be added to that list. But I think if you get added to the UUFLB mailing list, you get those invitations about Zoom at noon. We also are coming up, well, I guess last week, 2 weeks ago was the week when we did this, on the first Thursday of every month, and so coming up again in February, we'll be working with the alternative sleeping location to provide a meal there. I also want to announce that there is a board meeting tomorrow on Monday, January 13th at 6 p.m. and our board meets by Zoom. So if there's anyone who wants to join the board meeting by Zoom and doesn't already have the invitation, the Zoom invitation, please let us know, and we will make sure that you get that. I also wanted to mention that at this time, I think many of us are thinking about ways in which we can give meaningfully to support our community and to support our neighbors, and especially to support our neighbors in Los Angeles County. And I know that one thing that the board will be thinking about and considering tomorrow evening is how this community can best join together to provide support. I know we each have our own ways to connect with the various resources and support organizations, but I think we'll also be finding a way for this community to come together and give some meaningful support. So I think we'll be able to tell you more about that next Sunday. And then I think Don also has an announcement that he would like to make from the board about another opportunity to support this community. So Dara, if you can turn us over to Don.
Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to share that last year in October, thanks to the great work and efforts of Paul Bogdan, the board was made aware that our roof had some areas of damage and were in need of repair. And so Paul took care of vetting out a proper vendor and getting that taken care of and the repairs done. And the total for those repairs was $4,800. And we paid for that out of our savings. So what the board would like to request is that we, give me 1 second here. I shared the wrong screen. We're looking to do a special building fund donation request to the fellowship. The purpose is to replenish the funds that we use to repair the roof. The roof looks excellent. We had some extra infrastructure work done to make sure that the building was safe and secure. And so our goal is to raise $5,000. And so that is simply the request. We're looking for a little extra in order to replenish our savings. And I thank you for considering giving and definitely for giving if you're able in the very near future. Thank you, and back to you, Pam.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Don, for the work that you and the board are doing. And it is now my honor and pleasure to introduce our guest minister this morning, Jennifer Springsteen. And Jennifer has visited with us several times in the past, and we're delighted to have her back again. Jennifer is a hospital chaplain and a writer in Leesburg, Virginia, and she is also a UU ministerial candidate. She lives with her husband, Joe, and Sam, her cat. And she has a daughter who is a sophomore in college and who visits with her parents when she's hungry. And on her website, Jennifer writes that she is a lover of words and theology, and that through word and deed, she is determined to push the world towards a more connected and loving place. So Jennifer, thank you for being with us here at UUFLB this morning.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I want to start by acknowledging the fires in the Los Angeles area. I know this is only a short distance from your congregation, and many of you and your loved ones are hurting. Let's take just a few seconds of silence to recognize the pain and suffering of people, animals, and earth. Thank you. We are in this place of worship where these rafters withstand the battering of the storm, where the corners bloom into shrines, and where we hold love in. Love is held here within these walls. I can feel it. And while I don't know every hurt that has squeezed your heart, or every sweetness that you've held in your hands, I am aware of the longing for love that you have, because I have it also. And it's comforting knowing that we're connected like this in our complicated humanness. It's comfortable knowing that this morning and that next Sunday too, we can find one another in worship spaces. Let the words and music and quiet be a balm. Let this holy time with each other be a balm. Rise in body or spirit to sing our opening hymn. It's number 1 in our gray hymnal. May nothing evil cross the store.
This will be up on the screen as well. his heart through all the world grow chill will keep you warm. Peace shall walk softly through these rooms, touching our lips with holy wine, till every casual corner blooms into our shrine. With laughter drown the raucous shout, and though these sheltering walls are thin, may they be strong to keep hate out and hold love in.
Let us take a moment now to remind ourselves why we come together as a community. I invite you to read the words of our unison affirmation together when and if it feels right to you. And for those who have joined us by Zoom, if you wish, you may unmute your microphone, and then your voice will be joined together with a little bit of a sound delay, but will be joined together here with the voices in the fellowship building. So the words of our unison affirmation are on our screens, and please join me in reading. May we be
Be
reminded
reminded here
of
of our
Our
highest
highest
aspirations
aspirations
and
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 inspired
inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to
to
the
the
altar of
of
humanity.
humanity.
may we know
They may know
once
once again
again
are not
that
that
we
we
are
are
not
not isolated,
isolated beings, but
connected in
in
mystery and
and
miracle,
miracle to the
the
universe,
universe,
to
to
this
this
community,
community,
and
and
to
to
each.
each other.
So we have come now to a time in our service to briefly share whatever is on our hearts, important events that are touched our lives during the past week. And this is an opportunity for us to demonstrate our commitment to sustaining this community where we can share our sorrows and provide for each other support and care, and also where we can share our joys so that they can be amplified and extend beyond ourselves and into the community. So during this time of sharing our joys and concerns, we have paused the recording of the service. The recording. And here at UUFLB, we recognize that it is as much a blessing to be able to give as it is to receive. And we recognize that it is a blessing to do both and to do both well in this self-governing, self-sustaining community. All of our gifts generously given, our time, our compassion, our financial contribution, our care, all of these are needed, are essential for the fellowship and for its continued good work in the world. So during this time of offering, Candy will be passing a basket here within the fellowship, and there will also be information on the screen providing additional ways in which you can give. please join us now, rise as you are comfortable, and join us in singing to each other words of sincere gratitude. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
Please be seated.
Our reading today comes from Lois Van Leer, The Last Leaf. Let go of all that binds you, of all that burdens you, of what you carry, of all that shames you, of fear, of trespasses and transgressions, of woundedness. Let go of guilt. Let go of anger. Let go of small-mindedness and pettiness, of ways of being that no longer work for you, of compulsions that consume your living. Let go of what you cannot change. Let go of regret, of that which haunts you. Let go of pain. Let go of ways in which you missed the mark. Let go. And now this is a time to draw ourselves into meditation. So find yourself in a comfortable position, maybe shrug your shoulders a little, become in your body. And let's remain seated and sing or hum a shortened version of Ali Halpert's song Loosen together, and then let it move us into a time of quiet. And the words will be on your screen. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? And now for a time of quiet. Many of you remember me from last time I visited virtually, maybe so, but let me introduce myself again here for the record. Hello, I'm Jennifer Springsteen. I use she, her pronouns. I identify as a cis female, and aside from a bunion on my left toe and a few aches in my low back, I'm currently able-bodied. Often in liberal spaces, we're becoming more aware of the intersectionality of our identities, including bodies, and the language we use to describe our experience of how we move through the world. In the first month of the new year, folks are often considering resolutions that focus on their bodies, losing weight, eating better, drinking less caffeine or alcohol, and those can be healthy things, sure. But I want to guide us into the wonderment of bodies and how we must let go of rigid thinking about our own bodies and the bodies of other people. The spring before I left Oregon, I visited Silver Falls and took a beautiful 4-hour hike that passed around and under and 11 waterfalls. And my body ached with the effort of keeping pace with the rise and fall of the landscape and the uneven pathways. The same ache created joy at the ability to go where I needed to go to see the watery magic the earth has to offer. In my ache and joy, I also became aware that this beauty is inaccessible to so many bodies. Bodies in chairs that rely on devices for mobility, bodies in pain, older bodies, and very young ones. Rabbi and poet Julia Watts Bessler named the concept the uncanny body. Uncanny bodies are those not often depicted in commercial marketing or the Netflix shows we binge. And yet they are bodies that create wonder for both observer and the one who inhabits the uncanny body. Trans and non-binary bodies, bodies in chairs, bodies using arm crutches, sightless bodies, bodies missing limbs or requiring assistance. Bessler claims certain bodies transcend worldly expectations and therefore are more like the bodies of angels. And I've been learning a bit about disability culture from the Rabbi Julia Watts Bessler. Let me share more information from her talk at the Contemporary Jewish Museum in San Francisco. Her interpretation of biblical texts has helped me re-envision bodies and how we look upon them. In her talk, Julia spoke about the biblical passage where Jacob wrestles an angel and has a lifelong limp as a result. But it isn't Jacob's disability that Julia relates to. She feels a kinship to the angel. Not in a cutesy or sweet way, though. The rabbi says the text describes the angel as uncanny, something both frightening and wondrous. It is nearly human, but otherly too. Think about seeing a body that looked different from the one you were used to seeing in a mirror or on TV. Maybe you stared. Maybe you were nervous, scared even. You were indeed awestruck looking upon that body. Did your head fill with questions? Were you scolded for staring? Perhaps the body you marveled was your own uncanny body. The rabbi goes on to talk about the angel's wings and how they're depicted in paintings and descriptions. You might need to Google this talk. There's so much to digest, and I can put a link to her talk if the sermon goes online. Julia thinks of people who are born with birth anomalies or non-binary bodies as learning to go through life with these renderings of angel wings, overlarge, protruding, rubbing against their own body. And this is the wonderment we have about the angels among us. We wonder silly things like, can those wings hold the whole body in flight? How does one get clothes on and off those wings? I recall helping my mother-in-law dress as she sat in her wheelchair with her oxygen tubes, a once able body made uncanny by disease. When considering a disabled or non-binary body as uncanny, Julia cautions against misconception, the inability to truly perceive the body for what it is, to try not to hyper-normalize it, as if any anomaly doesn't exist. The anomaly exists. It is there before us in all of its angelic holiness, exactly as it was meant to be. This is how Ezekiel describes the Orphean angels in the Bible. As I looked at the creatures, I saw a wheel on the ground beside each creature with its 4 faces. This was the appearance and structure of wheels. They sparkled like topaz, and all 4 looked alike. Each appeared to be made like a wheel, intersecting a wheel. And they moved. They would go in any one of the 4 directions that the creature faced. The wheels did not change direction as the creature went. Their rims were high and awesome, and all 4 rims were full of eyes all around. And then the prophet Isaiah described angel seraphs, each with 6 wings. With 2 wings, they covered their faces, and with 2, they covered their feet, and with 2, they were flying, and they were calling, holy, holy, holy. Uncanny. We have the Greek sculptures to thank for using Egyptian mathematical ratios and proportions to depict the human body. Thousands of years later, throughout the world, the image of the youthful and proportional European attributed bodies cast in white marble are what humans mean by beautiful. Why can't we let go of that? Chloe Cooper-Jones writes about those marbled bodies in her New York Times article, Contemplating Beauty in a Disabled Body. She says we experience a cognitive dissonance when we encounter bodies different than our own or different than from the images that we experience every day. She says, my disability is obvious, but its details are unclear. To look at me is to feel information both shown and withheld. And then she says, my body does not fit into any narrative of order, proportion, and plan. And then she asks whether the existence of disabilities or bodies that don't hold a specified male-female binary make God imperfect. Do we contribute to that narrative when we talk about the perfect order of the universe, everything part of a divine plan or vision? Do we perpetuate that myth when we highlight the body of Jesus on the cross, a broken body, a suffering body? Jones says she wants the idea of beauty to be like a stone in her hand, turning it over and over, something immeasurable. Well, I've noticed, and probably you too, that we tend to timestamp bodies. Our bodies at the height of their physical ability, or plumbed with sexuality, or sharp of wit. And we become fearful of our bodies and of others when we are ill, when we age, and we long for our bodies to become something different than what they are, or when our bodies became something different despite our greatest longings. Maybe you know that for your own body. Some examples. It's hard to see and no one around to find the large print hymnal copies. It's uncomfortable to be with people who look at you with a question in their eyes, trying to figure your age, your gender, your race, your culture. Or maybe it's driving that becomes difficult. Is it a bother to join a group at church and then have to ask for a ride? Seeing, hearing, for all of those reasons that I haven't named, it might be easier to simply fade away. Please don't fade away. Or better yet, Let's please not let one another fade away. Notice who is coming around and who isn't. With Zoom, we're participating from where we feel comfortable. And once folks got the hang of the technology, online worship and gatherings have proven quite accommodating. Our communities have shifted again, returning to being in person. And while it is great that much of life continues in multi-platform areas, I hope those among us with disabilities, those uncanny bodies, don't get regulated to online-only offerings. I don't want to hear ourselves saying, well, they can always join online, because that makes accommodating easier for us. Think of all the angels that we'd be missing. Let me read to you from a poem by Julian Jamaica Soto, who themselves moves through the world in a chair and identifies as trans. The poem is titled, Dear Trans, Non-Binary, Genderqueer, and Gender Expansive Friends and Kin. They write, you are not hard to love and respect. Your existence is a blessing. Your pronouns are not a burden or a trial. They are a part of your name, just shorter. Some of our kin use only their names where pronouns would be, the names they are called. Remember that someone getting them wrong is not a poor reflection on you. It's not your fault. Your body really, truly belongs to you, no one else. The stories of your body and the names of your body's parts, your body's privacy, is the sum of your body's glory. And this is where radical welcome arrives in my thoughts, and our own use of pronoun stickers or name tags. And this is where I hope that all this talk of pronouns and what pronouns to use, why this is important. If instead of seeing the miraculous body before me, different than mine, but exactly as it should be, if instead I try to normalize that body and liken it to my own, what reason do I have to accommodate for that body? Rather than fitting robes of welcome over those wild and scary wings, I leave the angel before me naked. And I'm not implying that non-binary bodies or elderly bodies or bodies with disability equal vulnerability. I'm not saying that. I'm saying extending welcome is seeing somebody completely and truly, not as yourself, but the whole of them. That is the wrestling match that we undertake. That is the blessing we seek. Do you believe in miracles? The husband of a dying woman asked me once. I'd come to her bedside at his request, where he sat with his Bible opened, reading aloud. I hesitated for a moment, looking at his wife in the bed. She wasn't very old, but she'd taken a hard fall as a result of overdrinking, and her brain would not be recoverable. I knew what miracle he hoped for, and I felt certain it wouldn't be forthcoming. Still, I said more quickly than I had intended, yes, I do. And he said, me too. When I reached for his hand, we both understood that the miracles we believed in had less to do with healing bodies and more to do with something else, something more to do with what exists beyond bodies. We love one another through our bodies and beyond our bodies. We are connected with the mysteries of this world, with holiness, with God, through and beyond our bodies. Let me end with a memory. They come flooding back to me as I've returned to Virginia after 25 years in the Pacific Northwest. It is a story of my body when I was young and it was at its most able, although I wouldn't have thought about it that way then. It is the same body I exist in now, and also not the same body at all. I remember sitting on my best friend's porch in the early evenings where all of us kids gathered, trying to figure out what we'd get up to that night. and summers we'd hunt for water, either a quarry or someplace on the Rappahannock River. Sandy Bottom had a great deep swimming hole. And there were snakes, but nobody had ever been bitten. And the moon lit the way up an old oak where someone tied a rope swing. The rest of us took turns shimmying up through the branches and out on the large overhanging limb, all the while holding the big knot anchoring the end of the rope. We'd cast our young bodies into the air, let go the rope, and feel only lightness. The air lifting the damp from our temples, our breath caught in our chests, anticipating the chilly, wet river, grabbing hold of our feet, our shoulders, our head, shaking every piece of us as if to say, this is good. For God's sakes, remember this. I do remember. I remember the beauty of it, like a stone turning over and over in my hand, immeasurable and wondrous. Now rise in body or voice for our closing hymn. It's 10:15, and the Tila hymnal, I Know I Can, and the words will be on the screen.
Though days be dark with storms and burdens weigh my heart, though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can't go on. But sorrow heals my soul, and burdens make me strong. The troubles wait at every turn, I know I can't go on. My sister in my heart, my brother in my soul. Though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. And though the journey is long, the destination is near. The troubles wait and every turn, I know I can go on. So brother, take my hand, and sister, sing my song. When hope awaits at every turn, I know I can, I know I can, I know I will go on.
Now is the time for us to extinguish the chalice here at UUFLB and within our homes. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
This body of yours, this skin and bone, muscle and sinew, is your own gift to carry with you throughout this life and this one only. You were born in it, and you will leave it behind. It can be a dangerous gift, frustrating, ill-equipped. It is resilient, but it also breaks down eventually for everyone. The most important thing is that it is yours. Feel how it holds you. Feel how it guides you. Feel how you move through the world inside it. I pray it brings you joy right now, if only for a few moments. I pray that for you. May this be so. Blessed be, and amen.
Now, please stand as you are comfortable. Join hands if you wish as we sing together our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
And the words will be on the screens. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With earth as our mother, we are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment, live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Have a great day, everybody.